just to recap very briefly, we've got John Trevelyan as the tournament director. He's run the last 5 or 6 Island Games tennis tournaments, and he'll be doing the difficult bit, which is the scheduling and the draws and all that sort of stuff. I've actually arranged for John Bramlett and 2 other umpires from the USTA to come in. John Bramlett has been here for the last 10 years helping us with the ITF Junior World Championship event that we host here and the XL Challenge event. So these guys really know their stuff. Actually, John, if you watch any of the big tournaments on television, you probably don't realise it, but you're probably looking at him somewhere in the background. And the idea is that John and his team will be the roving umpires and will deal with the on-court officiating, and that will leave John Trevelyan to deal with just the scheduling kind of in the back. Previously, John's had to deal with the scheduling and the umpiring and the calls and so on, and that's a pretty big issue. In addition to those people, we have local umpires and officials who are certified by ITF, and in fact we have an officials clinic that we're running in October, beginning of November, to try and kind of increase our local pool of officials as well. So in terms of officiating, we've kind of put quite a bit of focus on that, and I think that's key to making the tennis event, you know, raising the standard for both the players and the tournament. As far as the facilities are concerned, we have 5 hard courts here. We have 3 clay courts on the other side, and there are plans in place at the moment to upgrade the clay courts and to add a 4th clay court over there. We have a backup plan in place, which would initially perhaps provide us with warm-up courts when the courts are fully occupied. That's to use Commander Gate, and they're on board in terms of our warm-up. Coming back to the facility, when we run the Island Games here, in addition to having a tent here, which will probably be the VIP tent, there will be another tent which will cover about half of the whole bleachers area here. That's to provide shade for the players when they're not playing, rest area, etc. We will also provide water for all the players on all the courts, as well as in the kind of rest areas. The tennis event is probably one of the more grueling physical events in the Island Games. I mean, the players that get through to finals can play as many as 18 matches in the course of a week. That takes its toll on the body. So we've also built into our budget to have an on-site physiotherapist available for the week as well. I think that's going to be a fairly kind of critical element. Behind the stand here is where we will have the stringer. There'll be food concessions and the physiotherapist tent as well. Underneath the stands, all the administration stuff is underneath the stand here. On the other side, underneath the stands over here, are the men's and ladies' changing rooms, and you know there's things that you can buy. You can buy water and chocolates and things there. But we will have food concessions set up in the back. What else can I tell you? I think I've covered pretty much everything.
Can I just, if you want to see this in operation, this is Mr. Place, who is Cooley, who is the chairman of the BLTA. And go ahead.
Yeah,
Cooley.
what we'll be having on Friday night, we'll be having some final matches here. We're having the W. William Jewell Stadium here. Mr. Bill Wade, it's his tournament, it's a memorial tournament, and we'll be having the finals here. We'll be having men's singles, men's doubles, mixed doubles finals. So if you all want to come and see it in operation, you're invited to come on Friday night at 5:30.
5:30 till then when?
We're probably going to about 10.
10.
Yeah. And this tent's available for you if you want to come in here. Okay?
Lovely, thanks Cooley.
Thanks, Colin. One last thing I was going to say in terms of scheduling. You know, Bermuda can be pretty hot in the summer. It will be very hot in July. That's why we have the shade. But we're also going to try and schedule matches that we think will have greater spectator appeal for the evening, because you know these 3 courts here are all under lights. This is a really great stadium court, and you get a good crowd in here. It's a great atmosphere.
Which Friday?
Any questions?
No, that was what I was going to ask, because I can see you've got the floodlights, so it's in, because I mean, like you're saying there's a lot of heavy schedule for tennis.
Yes.
So would there be like playing early in the morning and later at night and having a rest in the daytime when it's the hottest time of the day?
That's actually how we schedule the ITF tournament, which is usually played in late June.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we have the luxury to do that for the Island Games, because between the team event and the individual events, there's a tremendous number of matches to be played. If it may well be that later in the week, as the draw thins out, we would try and keep the matches in the morning and then afternoon and evening, so the players aren't out in the sun in the middle of the day the whole time. But I think in the early part of the week, at least until Tuesday,
Yeah.
we won't have that luxury.
You mentioned shade for the players. What shade for the spectators if they're playing in the middle of the day?
The spectators, what generally happens with when the tent's up over this half of that accommodates players and spectators.
And if we need to put additional tents up, we can do that as well.
Yeah.
We can put additional tents up.
We've got a line item in our budget for tents and flags and all that sort of thing, because we know that shade is going to be a big issue.
First aid provision on site. Physiotherapy is great, but if a player is
But
injured or
normally we have, like
I've
you
got
said, John's
heat
ambulance.
exhaustion.
St. John's ambulance,
Yeah.
we normally
Okay.
get them, they come and provide them.
Okay.
First aid.